Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, March 2nd. So today we do have the moon in Scorpio energy going void, of course, from 2:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be locking into Sag energy at 8:57 a.m. So this is going to be good for us because, of course, the moon in Scorpio is very deep, very dark, very probing. We were very passionate about some heavier topics and themes. Again, really doing the shadow work in order to kind of unearth some unconscious blockages and challenges and obstacles and flipping the script and empowering us to make a major change, a major shift in our mood and our attitude, in our emotional and spiritual realm, preparing for the major changes that are going to need to be made in our external realm when gifted with the green light go ahead to actually do so. The transition from Scorpio energy into Sag energy is always a welcomed one because the Sag energy kind of holds the torch, showing us that there is a light at the very end of a dark tunnel that happens to be Scorpio energy. And once we reach that light, not only are we standing in a new perspective, not only are we in a better mood, a better attitude, more optimistic, more confident, but we're also standing in a brand new truth, a brand new realization. We are able to see the greater, grander picture, if you will, either looking back in the past, understanding why certain circumstances had to pop off, or seeing the bigger picture be revealed on what it is that now we want to build towards. Either way, we're gaining a little bit of clarity, and I mean very little, because again, we're still in Pisces season. That Sag energy, though, definitely bringing a deeper truth, a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose, and likely a new mission to our awareness. And of course, we will be building towards the last quarter moon phase that will be taking place here in the Sag energy on the 3rd. So therefore, there is a high potency of reflection, a high potency of realization, of understanding, of epiphany that will be taking over us over the next couple of days, especially if you've done the work while the moon was in Scorpio energy. So that being said, there are 8 different aspects taking place here today. 6 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon, still in Scorpio energy, is going to make its very last aspect before going void, of course, and it just happens to be a beautiful one. It's a trine with Neptune in Pisces energy. So this is water on water action, and what we know about water action is that it's very cleansing, very purifying, very healing, very transformative, very emotional, very intuitive. Especially Neptune and Pisces, that's our intuition, that's our imagination, that's our creativity, that's our dream state. And so there is this element, emotionally speaking, where we are kind of being renewed and refreshed in our vision, in our goals, in our dreams, in our remembrance that we're on a mission. We might not have all the details right now, but there is a greater, grander purpose that is fueling us, driving us at this point. And this is an empowerment energy to kind of remind ourselves that we are capable beings, that we are powerful beings, that we can handle any situation and circumstance that is thrown our way because we essentially have divinely scripted these particular events in order to trigger our awakening, our power, and really push us into new levels of awareness, new levels of consciousness, new levels of evolvement. So the moon is going to go void, of course, after this beautiful interaction with Neptune, and of course, hopefully triggering and activating a little bit of a vision, of a dream, of a goal, and restore our hopes, our wishes, our faith in the greater, grander process. So again, we are sitting in that void energy until 8:57 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time. We shift into Sag energy, and for about 2 hours, we're just sitting there percolating in it. We're just kind of building up a new momentum. We're kind of piecing together, if you will, a new realization, a new awareness. And approximately around 11 a.m., we are going to have the very first aspect pop off. That is the moon in Sag, making a very awkward interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. Now, the North Node is trying to get us on the right path to see where it is that we have our own individual, our own unique mission, purpose, schedule, if you will, to reach our soul's mission, our soul's potential. Right now, though, we're having a little bit of a hard time trying to look forward because, again, Pisces energy, it's all about looking back. And so the adjustment here is that the Sag energy is very visionary, but we can't see that far ahead. We really do have to piece together a lot of the elements from our past in order to understand where it is that we're going in our future. So this isn't really supporting this illumination on where it is that we are moving forward as much as it is piecing together our past and formulating, again, a new truth, a new understanding, a new perspective on why the dominoes had to fall in the nature in which they did in order to land us at this particular point as we are preparing to jump into a new astrological calendar and therefore make some very interesting moves. The moon in Sag is then going to sextile, beautiful interaction, with Pluto, the great transformer himself, who happens to be in Aquarius energy. Sag energy, Aquarius energy, they have one thing in common, which is that they are very visionary. So the element that has to happen here is that emotionally speaking, we're building in our optimism, we're building in our confidence, we're really kind of betting on ourselves, on the universe with this Sag energy. The Aquarius energy that Pluto is currently in is visionary in an aspect that we're trying to think of a alternative situation or circumstance or reality that we want to actually be living that would be a huge improvement from some of the circumstances, some of the storylines that we're currently standing in at this particular moment. And so there is an intense overhaul, renovation, upgrade, empowerment energy taking place because we're really starting to kind of, I'm going to say, build in that fire element, that passion, that desire, that want, that need for something new, for something different. We're starting to see that it really is coming down to our mood, our attitude, and what it is that we're currently spending a lot of time and energy focused on that is either going to make or break our overall success of breaking away from this current reality and jumping into a new one. The moon is then going to make a beautiful interaction with Mars. Also in this Aquarius energy, Mars is the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger. And right now, we're really getting riled up. Again, really learning to build, cultivate, sustain that fire, that flame within us that we're going to need to hold on to in order to break through some of these challenges, some of these obstacles that we know that we're about to face in trying to push away certain storylines of this present moment and really start building towards new versions of reality that we're currently percolating on, trying to piece together. So this is definitely a good mood, a good attitude, a good push. We aren't going to see a whole lot of opportunity to kind of make moves out in the external realm. But again, that sporadic, very eccentric energy coming in from Mars being in Aquarius is definitely downloading us with this hype energy that we have to continue to build upon. The moon is then going to interact with Chiron in not the nicest way. And so again, just a reminder that every single time we find ourselves in high vibe, we find ourselves very optimistic, we find ourselves very hopeful, there is this dark force energy that likes to pull us back. Just when we're feeling good, something needs to happen to trigger and activate that energy to bring us down a couple of pegs. Doesn't feel good. Semi not right, but it is what it is at this particular point of deconstructing the programming, the conditioning that we are currently under. And so the moon kind of interacting with Chiron is going to illuminate the wounds at this point. Maybe we're not as optimistic as we were earlier in the day. Maybe we're not having as much faith, as much trust in ourselves and the greater, grander plan and our hopes and our wishes and our dreams as we did earlier in the day. But nonetheless, we have to kind of fall apart, so to speak, or examine the areas that are triggering and activating for us in order to flip the script on that and build something better, something more powerful out of the aspects and elements that are trying to kind of make us weak and make us real and raw and vulnerable and put us in a fear state of paralysis so that we don't make changes, we don't transform, we don't evolve. Don't let it get to you. So we sit in that for approximately 5 hours-ish. And then Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, and how it is that we express ourselves, in this Pisces energy is going to make a positive interaction with that North Node in Aries energy. We love this because now we're getting downloaded with goals, with visions, with dreams. And again, reminder, Mercury and Pisces, we're blending our intellect with our intuition, but a lot of the things that we're being downloaded with, a lot of the aha moments, a lot of the activations are very vague, still very much confusing. There is this high level energy of like inspiration and motivation, but we're still unable to kind of piece together within ourselves what some of these visions and ideas actually mean for us. And we're really unable to articulate and be able to communicate that outwardly. But nonetheless, having little glimpses of visions, of goals, of dreams, those are all good things, especially where it is that we want to move forward, where it is that we have the ability to grow, evolve, heal, repair some of the issues that, again, this very, very heavy Pisces season is bringing to our attention. 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm giving you this timestamp because this is where things are going to get intense in our headspace. Mercury's going to make a semi-square, creating tension and conflict with Pluto, the great transformer himself. So first of all, this applies a huge, huge pressure to our headspace, to our focus, to our narrative. We become a little bit skeptical. We are criticizing, judging all kinds of things, especially at this point, we're kind of taking on a negative Nancy narrative. We're speaking a little bit of fear into some of the hopes and wishes and goals and visions and dreams that we were lucky enough to receive, whether we're able to make sense of them or not. We felt that high vibe energy, and now this particular aspect is definitely going to bring us down a couple of pegs. The mental tension is going to be overwhelming at times. And again, we're in that Pisces energy, which means that we can get overwhelmed to the point where we want to just escape, where we want to avoid, where we want to run away. But again, in this capacity, from our thoughts, there is a high level of anxiety, a high level of worry, a little bit of paranoia. Here's the thing, we're obsessing over something that we have zero control over. And, the element and energy of having to get to the bottom, to the nitty gritty of the truth of all the details that are going to make or break the situation, it's almost like we're working too hard to try and make sense of things. Again, in Pisces season, with Mercury in Pisces, we're not really making sense of a whole lot. It's very interpretive. It is very much an energy, a thought process, an observational process of just seeing what comes up for us instead of actually intellectually needing to understand the complexities of how these particular ideas, this truth, these details are formulated, are coming together. And so we're pushing our mental plane to do a thought process that we're not supposed to be doing with Mercury being in this Pisces energy. And so we almost have to kind of take the detective hat off, hang that up for a little bit, and just kind of go with the flow. Surrender to the thoughts, to the ideas, good, bad, or otherwise, coming up within you, because they all have a very valuable lesson to teach us. And so although we are kind of fixated on one particular topic, on one question, on one particular, let's say, trivial area of our lives, although we're fixated on that, although we're obsessive of it, we're not going to get the answers that we are looking for. And therefore, if you want to give yourself a little bit of a permission, a mental break, if you will, that would be highly advised at this point, just to take the edge off of this already organically, naturally unfolding of this mental tension between Mercury and Pluto. That is your warning. Now, we're going to sit in that difficult energy for a couple of hours. We are going to be kind of saved from this energy because the last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in this Sag energy making a beautiful interaction with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. In this Aquarius energy, again, emotionally detaching us. Thank goodness for Venus and Mars still being in Aquarius energy, providing us with this emotional attachment while we're basically wading through the waters of emotions in this Pisces season and with Mercury in Pisces energy. But the moon and Venus coming together, first of all, it is showing us where it is that we have to be a little bit more positive, a little bit more optimistic, a little bit more hopeful than we were earlier in the day, especially when that mental tension took over and Negative Nancy and Betty the Bully came out to play. Okay, so we're kind of changing gears here. We're changing moods. We're changing attitudes. We're building ourselves up again. But the Venus energy, of course, she wants love. She wants happiness. She wants joy. She wants safety. She wants security. She wants stability. In this Aquarius energy, she is constantly thinking about how she can do things better, where she has the area to improve, what needs to change in her physical realm in order to actually create the realm and reality that not only looks good, that feels good, that is presenting her with an opportunity for growth and for evolvement. And so there is an aha moment here. There is a positive building of energies and recognizing who and what needs to stay and needs to go. The who and what that are staying, we've identified that they do bring us a sense of happiness, joy, pleasure, safety, security, stability, encouragement for us to do our thing, to do what we need to do to be happy, to feel safe, to feel secure. The people and elements that are not contributing to those things, they gots to go. How we are going to bring that ending and closure to this particular storyline still remains to be seen. We will definitely have a lot more information to work with as we move towards the new moon in Pisces. That is essentially the beginning of the end of the world, the reality, the storyline as we know it. So this is going to be a good revelation on who and what is actually working in our favor and who we have to kind of double down on, who we have to make sure continues to be a part of our storyline. And of course, in those realizations, we're also realizing who and what has got to go.